welcome to Learning with Natural Hair. Well, it's been a long time again, long gap. This light is like super bright in my eyes. So let me see. Does that help? I don't know. Okay, so it might not be, I don't know. It's kind of hard to look directly because there's this light like right in my face. But welcome back. Anyways, I am, oh, wow, still natural. And I've been through school. I finished school. I graduated my second doctorate in August, so last month. Thank God for that. And so now it's next steps, like what's next, what's in the future, which is something that I will be in prayer about because now I need to make some big decisions about, life and what to do as far as, eventually business, if not immediately. So that's that. But how are you all doing? You can just comment below and let me know how things are going. What's been going on with you this year? It's been a crazy year that I for sure didn't see coming. With everything for a while with Corona, we were doing classes online. Actually, I was in my clinic internship, and we ended up going home doing stuff online. So it was like kind of like being in the classroom again, even though, it was more supposed to be like the hands-on aspect of it, but they had to do something to keep our credits up. So that was that. But it worked out, and then the last 6 weeks we had to go back into clinic. I went on observation, and now done. So, yeah. But there's been a lot going on, a lot with, justice and injustice, and just, I think this is a time also for us to just dig deep in our hearts, because we need to find out what prejudices and biases we're holding on to and not be part of the problem. So with, all of the, racial tension that's going on in this country, and when you really think about it and you think about like, why should we hate anyone because of their color? Because none of us got to choose what color we would be. And God loves us all, and God made variety. And what would the world be without all colors of people? And, just like what would the world be without all the food we get to have because of different cultures? So just think about those things and pray about those things. It's a challenging time, and Satan tries our faith, but we have to be strong. We have to keep it going. We have to get in the Word because that's what builds our faith. Preaching to myself too. I need to get in the Word because that's what's going to build my faith also. So let's do that. But let's get on with my hair. So I had a bunch of little twists in my hair, and I took them out, did like a little twist out, but the twists were pretty small. So it left crinkles, and what you see now isn't as tightly coiled as it was. I've been going through and just kind of removing the pieces that had already fallen out from shedding, and that actually helped to uncoil my hair some, which is good because you really don't want to, unless if your hair is like mine, go in with a lot of coils in your hair necessarily when you're about to wash it, especially if you're detangling it, or if you want to have an easier detangling session later, because all those coils might end up tangling up on each other. So it's really better to get it back to more the uncoiled, undefined afro style. So as you can see, there's still some texture in there, but I have this method that I came up with. Other people probably have discovered it too, but it's a way that I get out shed hairs. So it's more like working between my thumb and pointer finger, the 5th and 4th digits. So what I do is I'll just kind of rub through the hair. I'll show you in slow motion if I can. And I'll just hold on till the end, until, any shedded hairs just come out like that. So I'm working with two hands, holding on, kind of going down the hair shafts with one hand and pulling with these two fingers. You don't want to pull too hard. I know it's if you're in a hurry, like people say, there's more of a tendency to not be as careful, but, you know, be that as it may, just try to be careful with your hair. I know sometimes it gets a little hard to be patient because for me, I'm like, I'm trying to take care of your hair. Why are you getting these little knots in the end? And then it happens anyway. But it's all good. So what I do is I keep doing that, but I just go in kind of fast motion. And I'm just kind of keeping this closed, like maybe two, probably 3 fingers even. But I just kind of keep it closed. I guess it's mainly these 2. And I just work my way through like that. Just going down and like kind of pulling a little bit as I go. And this is to remove those dead hairs. And there's not a whole lot coming out right now because I already did it. But at the same time as it's removing the dead hairs, hopefully it's getting some of the texture out. Because like I said, that can create more tangles when you're ready to go and actually wash it. And you probably want to do this on damp hair. My hair is a little damp. I actually need to spray it more. But I just part it down the middle for now. I actually use the end of like a hair dyeing brush. So you can use like a rat tail comb, but this is what I used. So you can use the end of that and just part it down. And then you can go across the side here if you want. Make another section. Some people use 6 sections, some people use 4. 2 is a little more tricky to use if you have pretty textured hair. But I'm gonna try to do about 4 sections. So just going through and parting, and 1 section at a time. I went to a local beauty supply store and I purchased another imitation Denman brush. It was $2.99. It didn't cost a lot of money. But this is it. So the teeth on this are kind of sharp, it feels like, at the end. So you probably want to be careful with that on your scalp if you do use the brush. But this one is Eden brand. I like the name. But I'm going to go back in. Just wet my hair again because it's starting to dry. And my hair is better detangled when it's wet. Because when it's dry, I rarely try detangling my hair when it's dry. It really just, you know, if it's all knotty and stuff, that's a no-no for me. Like, I'm just, nah. It's bad. It just leads to more tangles for me, more breakage if I'm trying to detangle it dry. So I got that on. Also, what I did earlier, I put some of this on. And this is before washing it. This is just on top of the products that were already in there for my twist out, which I used some gel and whatever else. But I did go swimming with those things in there, so it wasn't all in there anymore. But it just gives your hair a little bit something more to work with, so it's, you know, a little bit more slip, a little bit more moisture. And this product it's not all natural. It has a lot of natural ingredients, but there are some things in there that I saw, like THBQ, probably some kind of preservative or something. I don't know what that is. But this does have a whole lot of other natural ingredients, so it's probably better than some of the products that you'll find mainstream. And I went to like the local beauty supply store to get this brush I got. And I was going like down, up and down. I went up and down this aisle. Probably down and up is more accurate. But just looking for a good moisturizer that didn't have a bunch of chemicals in it. And I'm going to section this again. And unfortunately, our hair products just have so many chemicals in it. You probably do better to just really make your own hair products, honestly. or find someone who makes them for you, who actually cares about what's going on our bodies, because our skin is called our largest organ. You know, we're putting this stuff on our scalp, which is next to our brains. I'm really liking this brush though. Like I said, it's a little scratchy, so be careful near your scalp, but look how fast, with that moisture, with the water and the oil, look how fast this detangling is. So nice. Such a relief to have good hair products. So there, that's that. It's already detangled. For the most part, I'm just combing through it some more. But yeah, start from your ends, work your way up to your roots. It doesn't, when you have the right tools doing your hair, it makes so much of a difference. It doesn't take as much effort. You're not so frustrated, and you're just so thankful for finding the right tools. So I'm just gonna take this, twist it up. So if I decide to wash it, then it shouldn't be too hard to wash. So there's that. First one done. Alright, next section. I just have a little hair rubber band, and I think I just tangled up a little bit. So again, water. Also, tell me if any of you have experienced this. So like, I've noticed some breakage, like more so on the left side, but around the crown. Like, look at that. That's very annoying. But anyways, what are you doing about it? If you've experienced that, tell us what you're doing to stop that from happening. So for me, personally, I have been told I have iron deficiency anemia. So with iron deficiency, what's happening is your body, the red blood cells, there might be different sizes of red blood cells, or they might not be able to carry oxygen as much around the body, or if there's not as much blood flow, then there's not as much circulation and all those things. So maybe that's part of the problem, is that, you know, with my head being, you know, the the area where there's the least amount of gravity, likely because it's the highest part of their body, you know, and gravity takes things down. It's probably not reaching as much as it needs to. I've also heard about stress spots, like that being a spot of breakage when you're under stress, and school was definitely a lot of stress, along with other things in life that cause stress. So it's probably a combination of things. But I have not consistently done like the inversion method lately, where you like, you know, lay down with your head off of the bed or the couch or wherever for an amount of time, just to allow like a better blood flow to your scalp. I will warn you though, if you have high blood pressure, you want to be careful about that, or if you experience vertigo, you might want to make sure that someone's supervising you, because with the high blood pressure, that would actually probably increase pressure to the brain. So you want to be careful. You don't want to, you know, cause a stroke or anything like that. So be careful about inversion method. If you really want to do it, ask your doctor about it. Just for safety purposes. Don't go saying I told you go do the inversion method, basically. Okay, so there's another section done. Just gonna twist it. So if you're ever doing your hair, right, and you're like, I don't have any rubber bands, and your hair just pops loose at the ends, maybe because you got a freshly trimmed, try, when you get to the bottom, try redividing the two strands that you were using to twist it, and then twist the ends after you made another division, and it might help to hold it a little better. Just a little trick for if you need, you're like, I don't have rubber bands and my hair keeps popping and loose. Oil. Did I put oil in the last section? Oh well. But anyways, people talk about doing a pre-poo. This is your chance to do that as you detangle. So if you all are, you know, finding the right way to work through this racial tension that I was talking about earlier, how are you searching your heart? What, I don't know if you want to talk about, some people might want to talk about things that you've dealt with, that you found that, you have biases toward with your race or or things against other races that, like, maybe God's pointing some things out, like, this is there, did you see that? Or are you dealing with it? Because sometimes there's things in our hearts that we just don't want to deal with it. But actually, we do better to deal with those things, even though it's not always easy. Let's pray for grace to do that, right? But, so I've been in an interracial, whatever I just said, interracial relationship for a while now. And yeah, we had to have some hard conversations during this time. We didn't talk about race a whole lot before this, here and there. But yeah, we had some hard conversations around this time. I think what it comes down to is, like, just kind of having ears to hear and a heart of compassion, because we all want to think we're right sometimes, but sometimes we just need to listen. So how is that going for you all? Do you have friends that you've been dealing with these things with? Are you in a relationship where you've had to deal with these topics? Are you dealing with them at the workplace, at school? And how are you getting peace through it? Positive answers only, please. There's a lot of chaos going on in the world. And we want to bring good things, not chaos. Not things that are not loving and that won't fix issues. More water. Oil. Same thing. Just repeat it as you go through your hair. And once I finish this section, I think I'm going to go ahead and tune out from here. But now you know the drill, right? I'm getting going a little bit too fast now, but just patience. Working from your ends up until, like, once you'll know when the tangles are gone, because your hair tool will just start to glide better through your hair. Like, if you're feeling like it's snagging, then there's a section you need to maybe go down. Like, so say you're combing through, right? And you try to go up here and you get stuck, you might need to lower and go down again and then work your way up after you fix those snags. Kind of like you're working up a staircase. Like, just imagine sections in your hair, Like, if you had to untangle some yarn going up the stairs, you would have to untangle from the bottom up, right? Otherwise, you couldn't successfully get to the next step if the yarn on the step above was preventing you. So that's the way you want to work with your hair, from the bottom up. You know, don't try not to force like yanking your brush or comb or whatever through your hair. And sometimes now I will finger detangle, but when I have like that much texture in my hair from like twist out or something like that, it makes it a little bit harder to thoroughly detangle. So it's just easier to use like this imitation Denman brush. Or the other thing, if you can't find those, actually, let me show you. And I'll actually do this last section with this brush. I got this from Dollar Tree for $1. Only issue with these brushes is they don't solidify this part, so this part can actually come out. It was glued in, but it actually isn't, the glue isn't very strong. So what you can do is what I did with another brush I got from Dollar Tree is get some Dollar Tree super glue too. Pay $2. Put the super glue in here, close it up, let it sit until it is solid, and then it's ready to go. So this one, what I like about it is the teeth are a little more firm than some of the paddle brushes that you find. Some of the paddle brushes, their teeth are just a little bit too loose for me, a little bit too moving for me. But one of the drawbacks, I guess, unless you have like, if you have like a TWA, teeny weeny afro, and you're just starting out, then this might be good tooth size for you. But the teeth seem a little bit small on this for me for detangling my hair, but nonetheless it gets the job done. This one, however, the teeth are longer, I believe. Let's see if we can compare. Maybe a little bit, but anyways, I feel like maybe I can get a little more depth with this one, maybe also because the way the contour of the brush is, it gives me a little bit more control over depth, but this one is pretty flat across. But like I said, it still gets the job done. It's $1, Dollar Tree, so you really don't have to spend a lot of money. And the imitation brush I found, that one was only $3. I did get another one of those for my mom, and it was like maybe $8 or $9. Or was that what I paid for my other imitation Denman brush? It's like, it's messed up now. But anyways, the point is, you don't have to necessarily pay the price that you pay for an expensive brush. So I'm going to use this one, like I said, for this last section. Same thing. Start at the ends. You might want to turn your brush vertically if that helps you, like this way. I kind of change direction sometimes with my brushes. Whatever helps to get the tangles out better. I can feel some tangles in there. So try to work from the bottom up again if you can. And then I can try to get those roots too. Or actually it's more of the breakage, those shorter sections up there. But yeah, I like to try to get down to the roots in detangling also. But yeah, that's that. I let it go, which I probably shouldn't have. It's better to kind of, for my hair, to keep the tension on it after I detangle it, so it doesn't curl back up on itself and kind of get tangled again before I twist it. So this part really could be in 2 twists just because it's kind of a longer section, but I guess I'll force it into 1. Just bring it back toward the shorter section. So I actually wasn't quite as satisfied with that section using that brush. Could have something to do with where this hair is too on top, that it was a little bit harder to get detangled, but it still worked. And so yeah, that's that. Just adding in some moisture before shampooing, or if you're not ready to shampoo, at least you can stretch your hair out a little bit this way and get it detangled. And hopefully it's a safer method than, you know, just rushing through it, or maybe some of the other techniques you're using. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you have not subscribed to my channel, please do subscribe below. And comment, let me know what you do to detangle your own hair. What products do you use? Do you do it wet or dry, and why? And also about the things that we're talking about in our society. Like, how are you dealing with those things? How are you processing them? How are you dealing with the pain in positive ways? How are you searching your own heart to pull out, you know, things that are maybe biased or prejudiced, or racist, things that maybe you didn't intend to be there, but maybe got there from your surroundings, you know? Like, our hair is one of those things, you know, one of the things we grow up. Some people sometimes say negative things about our hair, but God created our hair and He gave it to us and it's good. So, part of how we see our hair might determine how we take care of our hair. It could have a direct impact on how much care we give our hair, because if we're looking at our hair and we're thinking, oh, you know, I don't like my hair, how much time are we really going to take to care for it if we feel like we don't like it? You know, how much nourishing, how much patience are we going to have with it? You know, because if we're saying, we're going in, we're saying, I don't like my hair, and I deal with this, I've dealt with this some days, you know, or I'm like, oh, I love my hair. And then some days I'm like, why are you being mean to me, hair? You know, or whatever it is. Or those negative stereotypes start to come back up again, you know, and it's like, I might be impatient, you know, or I might not feel good about my hair that day. So it's like, those are things that we need to deal with. And how are you dealing with those things? You know, what are you doing to see what our hair is a blessing and is our glory? And how are we taking care of it? And how are we treating it with love? And, you know, just let me know in the comments below. Here's your chance. Thanks for watching. Have a good night, or day whenever you're watching this. I'm recording this in the evening. But stay safe. And let's be prayerful and seek God together. God bless. Bye.